The other day, Asmongold went viral for a clip of him calling to ban politics entirely on Twitch, naming Frogan, Hasan, Tectone, and even himself at one point, claiming that they all bring the most PR problems to Twitch and their advertisers. This, of course, got some of the creators mentioned to reply, such as Frogan, who went on Twitter saying that she's not even a political streamer at all, which led Asmon to bring up her list of controversies. As well as Hasan fired back saying that Asmon is actually the controversial one, and that despite Hasan's perceived controversial status, he claims the mainstream media sees him as a force for good, even saying that Asmongold brings hate to Twitch. Of course, this all led Asmon to respond, and it caused a back and forth between the two. Welcome to the internet versus Asmongold, Hasan, and Twitch politics. It starts when Dexerto tweets out this clip with the caption, Asmongold says Twitch should ban political content to optimize for ad revenue.
If I wanted to optimize ad revenue, you know what I would do? I'd ban politics. That's what I'd do. Just ban it. The odds are that me and Hasan and Tectone and Frogan and Denims and Central Committee cause 90% of the PR problems on the entire website. That is crazy.
Caseytron replies, the PR problems are made up by incels to try to push Hasan off the platform. The solution is to ban bad faith pearl clutching incels like Asmongold. Nopify replies, ban political content from Twitch and the cockroaches from Asmon's crib, and the world is a much brighter place. Brittany Vinci replies to the clip by saying, yeah, definitely not the unfiltered corn that funnels kids into addiction on the site. Peace says in our members only Discord, with how much shit Twitch has got itself in since like 9 months ago, all involving their political streamers, like the ADL wanting their fourth person to go away forever. Politics on Twitch is like the body painters of the past, the poll streamers of the past. All of these past controversies had Twitch looking like a softcore corn site and showed numerous times their double standards. Them putting a ban on the politics category would only be a band-aid for the problem, as a majority of the big political streamers use just chatting instead. One Cares Den says, you cannot avoid political speech if you are talking about anything remotely interesting. Asmongold creates slop and nothing else. Nathan replies, the reason people like Zach more than Hasan is simply that he's more transparent. Frogan then quote tweets Dexerto and says, you consider me political because I wear a hijab. I am not like you and I do not make political content anywhere but typing a tweet once in a while. Deep End of the Wet Spot says, I think people consider you political because you're a political drama streamer. And Frogan replies, clearly you don't watch my content and that's okay. And Deep End says, I don't, but the only clips that ever gain traction are political. Don't shoot the messenger. Kangmin Lee replies, didn't you say on stream that veterans deserve PTSD while you gorged on snacks like Jabba the Hutt? Autistic Crates replies to Frogan by saying, counterpoint, Islam is not a religion. It is a legal philosophy masquerading as a religion. There is no mystery in Islam. Only follow rule. The Sufis are the only religious Muslims and they are persecuted as heretics by broader Islamic society. The hijab is a political symbol. Your mom for 20 quote tweets Frogan with this old tweet that she made that says, everything is political, you moron. It always is and will be political. And the rest of the post is unrelated. Yellow Flash Guy quote tweets Frogan and says, I consider you a piece of shit because you mocked service members and wished them harm. You're lower than trash, to be honest. Asmongold himself then replies to Frogan by saying, don't try to use your hijab as a shield for your disgusting behavior. American soldiers deserve PTSD. Arab/Jew racial tier list. Sub goal to make a 9/11 cake. Called October 7th mass murders a revolution. Those are PR problems. Obviously. Your religion isn't the problem. You are. Brett replies, Asmon, just curious, how many Jews were in the bottom of the tier list you're mentioning as an Arab/Jew racial tier list? You think that's more of a PR problem than you and your chats constantly glazing the Nazis and denying the Holocaust? Eat shit and choke on it, please. Cool Hand James replies, she's also extremely fat. Metalbender replies to Asmon by saying, you love to throw stones from your filthy, disgusting roach-covered glass house. Do you have a shred of self-reflection when you say things like this? Mr. Inferior people don't mind a genocide, the Holocaust probably happened. Rev Says Desu replies to Asmon by saying, they can't handle the ratio and are now trying to weaponize community notes to discredit you, showing a suggested context that says, the claim that Frogan created an Arab/Jew tier list is unfounded. The tier list reference was the Who Has the Habibi Pass live panel session at TwitchCon, which has repeatedly been mischaracterized. Both Jews and non-Jews appear on various levels on the list. Space Ghost quote tweets Asmon with this clip in the caption, my guy, you cannot pretend 9/11 jokes are suddenly offensive to you when there are hundreds of clips just like this one, easily accessible to anyone with Google search.
If Call of Duty really wants to do something insane, they need to make the next Black Ops about stopping September 11th. And the end scene is that you actually stop the planes and you stop September 11th. They roll the credits. After the credits of the game are over, it goes back to the game. You look up at the towers and they still fall down. And it says to be continued. That would be absolute fucking cinema. Oh my god.
And they continue their thread. I don't watch Hasan. I don't care about Frogan. I play World of Warcraft and take showers, and that makes me diametrically opposed to Asmongold. JD Arson replies, this isn't a joke. It's talking about a cliffhanger that would make a game more dramatic. This isn't a good comparison at all. And Space Ghost says, and then the towers collapse anyway. Suck my big fat cock, fanboy. Hasan Abi Productions meme account quote tweets Asmon and says, Asmongold claims Palestinians come from an inferior culture. Admitted to naming his WoW character after a neo-Nazi mass murderer who killed 77 people, constantly cries about black people and women in media, lives in literal rot. Another example, here's Asmongold's community celebrating the book burnings, calling it based. It's peak irony for him to cry over shit like a 9/11 cake and try to call out people's disgusting behavior when he behaves the way he does and fosters a community full of rabid psychopaths. Attaching this clip.
Let us remember that the Nazis burned the books that the Nazis burned books on gender sciences.
They did do that.
First. Now the administration has villainized and marginalized migrant workers, trans.
It's a bit of a miss. Like, my understanding is that they burned them not because it was gender stuff, but because it was written in Jewish and not German. And it was like a retaking of Germany for Germans. That was like the uprising of the Nazis. So it was like, yeah, they were. I think it probably might be both in some circumstances, but like it was categorical for it not being written in German. They also burned porn. Yeah, they burned a lot of stuff, and no, a lot. And I wish people like this. It's disappointing that you can't have genuine conversations because people try to just like kind of like handpick facts and like not talk about things in an honest way. But it's like part of that's true, but it's like not completely true.
LGBT people.
Kawaka replies to this thread by saying, corrected himself. It was a joke that's already been dealt with and constantly honest about where he comes from. He does not bitch about black people. I watch him enough to know that. You live in a mansion while bitching about socialism. And Amy says, you're too stupid to know that's not Hasan. Diosu87 posts this interaction from Zach and Frogan on the Asmongold subreddit, entitles it based, and Not a Ribbit user replies, she really tried to pull out the not like us card, thinking nobody would pull out receipts. Her acting like an asshole while wearing religious garments really helps people be more tolerant to people who wear religious garments. Much love. And the Malkman replies, and this is why you should be more like Asmongold. Good YouTube video. Common sense wins again. And One-Handed Swordsman replies, she's an embarrassment. Finger9 replies to the post by saying, does anyone actually think Miss Based actually remembers anything she says from one moment to the next? She's pure ID, no ego or superego. And JC Gaming replies, she probably forgets things exist because of the lack of oxygen entering her brain due to her weight. And Winter Reveal replies, how is she supposed to breathe with food stuffed down her gullet like that? Hasan then also responds to this when Yeet posts this clip with the caption, Hasan reacts to Asmongold saying Twitch should ban politics to optimize ad revenue. Says he isn't the controversial figure, that's Asmon. Claims he could hit up his puff piece buddies in journalism to apply pressure for an Asmon Twitch ban. Attaching this clip.
Problems that are caused for the entire website is never actually covered by real PR, and it's just the sweatiest fucking losers on Twitter that get mad. And then those sweatiest losers on Twitter will then try to get like actual outlets to cover it. Like, hey, why won't, CNN cover this? Why is CNN covering Hasan positively? Like, these guys don't understand. Most people in mainstream media don't know who the fuck Asmongold is, don't know who the fuck Tectone is, don't know who the fuck Frogan is, Denies is, Central Committee is. They barely know who the fuck I am. Okay? And the ones who know who the fuck I am in mainstream media obviously understand that, like, I'm a controversial figure, but ultimately a force for good, a force for progressive politics. We are lucky that mainstream media does not know who the fuck Asmongold is. If I wanted to destroy Twitter, I would literally go to every single one of my journalist friends and be like, hey, cover Asmongold. Cover how Twitch is allowing Asmongold to run his fucking dirty ass dick all up and down the goddamn platform, saying the most insane shit. But I'm not like Asmongold. I don't want this fucking platform to perish because I'm selfish. That's what he's been doing, though. He has been actively trying to get all of these other people to cover Twitch in a negative fashion. It hasn't worked because most people don't know who the fuck Asmongold is. Thank God. But he's aligned with people who are actively trying to send tens of thousands of emails to the likes of like CNN, NBC, MSNBC, who are working, Dan Stalkman is the guy I'm talking about, who are working in unison with the Anti-Defamation League, also known as the Apartheid Defense League, to try and get all fucking advertisers to remove ads from the platform. Why? Because I'm still on the fucking platform. They are actively trying to make this a PR issue while simultaneously turning around and being like, we should ban politics, actually. It's just a real PR issue.
Yeet continues to thread. Hasan continues threatening his journal buddies on Asmongold, attaching this clip.
It's a very controversial outlet for people who spend all of their time online and all their time on fucking Twitter, okay? Yeah, for those guys, it's controversial, but those guys are not the fucking advertisement executives, okay? Those guys are not the fucking real movers and shakers. Most of the movers and shakers do not know who any of us are, myself included, and luckily, not Asmongold. If I was the same type of person as Asmongold, if I was a rat fuck who wanted to screw up this entire platform and then fuck off and, like, I don't know, get a kickback or go to YouTube, then I would literally blow up the platform by doing this SJW nonsense over and over again, by constantly going to my fucking journalist friends and being like, look at this fucking racist. Why don't you do coverage over this racist? Why doesn't Twitch ban this fucking racist? Who do you think, out of all of those reputable outlets, would they actually cover with ease? Who do you think would actually get the headlines? Who would actually become a headline? The guy who fucking does unlimited white supremacist propaganda every fucking day to 50,000 people, who has destroyed the Daily Wire's prominence in the online sphere? Or a guy like myself who, yes, has radical perspectives, but is on the right side and definitely has opinions that are not that far removed from the average fucking journalist. But because I'm not a rat bitch like Asmongold, I'm not going to fucking do that. He can now turn around, watch this reaction, watch me reacting to him saying some dumb shit, and then make another fucking YouTube video being like, yeah, it's over, guys. Gotta fucking ban this guy. He's so funny. I'm simply laughing. I'm laughing at him. Yeah. Also, who showers? I don't understand. I don't smell bad. I'm skinny. Yeah, it's common sense.
McBeeg replies, bro, this is probably the biggest crash out in internet history. Bro hit him with the, my dad works for Twitch and I will totally get you banned. Jabul replies, this is the free speech anti-fascism guy threatening the Roach King with the weight of billion-dollar media institutions, by the way. Mr. 30 Below says, campaigning to have someone deplatformed. Another example of him openly breaking Twitch TOS. Dan Saltman quote tweets it and says, Hasan saying nobody knows who Asmongold is may be the most out-of-touch statement made in 2025. Asmongold is the most watched English streamer in the world. He is even in the top 10 most searched YouTube terms. Hasan doesn't even show up in the top 100. Yikes. Attaching this post from Dexerto that shows he's the most watched streamer in 2025, and this post from SimilarWeb showing Asmongold as a number 8 on the most searched by keyword for YouTube global search terms. Yeats continues to tweet out more of a response from Hasan where he says, Hasan compares his PR to Asmongold's by searching their names on Google News. Shows off all of his puff pieces as proof he has more credibility / better PR for Twitch. Attaching this clip.
Asmongold does cause real PR problems. Let's look at Asmongold on the news side. All we wanted to do was play video games. Streamers such as Asmongold have more influence than ever. What are they really saying? Asmongold's Twitch ban is a negative. Is a negative for the platform. It's a negative PR for the platform because he said Palestinians are inferior culture that deserve to be genocided. That's negative PR for the platform. Let's look up Hasan Piker, okay? And I'll tell you what's negative PR for the fucking platform and what's positive PR for the platform. So New York Post saying Hasan Piker back on Twitch after being yanked for comments about DC Jewish museum shooting. New York Post is not a fucking, a reputable outlet, but mainstream news outlets like New York Times, CNN, CNBC, MSNBC, NBC, those are fucking real outlets, okay? Wall Street Journal. Dexerto is not a fucking real outlet. All right. Discourse blog is fantastic, but also not in the fucking mainstream sphere. Okay. Fox News is not a reputable and serious publication. It's not a reputable or serious institution. Okay. In the same way that like The Guardian is, in the same way that NPR is. So you have to understand like New York Post is a tabloid and Fox News is a right-wing dish rag. The reason why I pointed that out is because, like, yes, I sometimes have negative PR for the platform when I get banned for certain shit, but ultimately that doesn't move the needle in any meaningful way, as opposed to all the fucking positive PR that I bring to the platform with all these other major outlets. Fox News is irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, and so is New York Post. So is the Free Press. Like, these are not reputable institutions. They're not a part of the liberal mainstream media.
Howling Newton replies, yeah, that's what happens when you pay a PR firm. You get some puff pieces. That doesn't exactly counteract all the Hasan supports terrorism articles. Azihara replies, everything Hasan does is some sort of dick measuring contest, and at all points his penis is flaccid. Asmongold himself then responds to this clip when Yeet also tweets it out with this caption. Asmongold responds to Hasan claiming he causes negative PR for Twitch.
It's
okay, so let me get this straight. So you Google my name, and it's a bunch of people talking about me. Some of the articles, to be fair, are negative, but the majority of them are positive, or at least just, well, it's actually just a lot of people talking about how popular I am. So he had to get off that page. He didn't want to look at that. That makes sense, right? Makes sense. But, and then you go over to Hasan's looking himself up, and now we have all of there's a bunch of negative articles, but they're all fake. Well, these aren't real websites. This is not real.
Mainstream.
Hasan comments on Twitch ban. Hasan Piker suspended for Twitch after discussing alleged manifesto behind Israeli staff shooting. Here's another one. Fox News. Let's look at this one. Far left streamer Hasan Piker suspended from Twitch for broadcasting DC shooting suspects manifesto. Yes, of course. Look at all this positive PR. Like, see, what he should have done is that you should have searched this off on your second monitor. Why didn't you do this? Like, if I'm trying to prove somebody wrong, I will usually search it on my second monitor. Because that way, if it comes up and it means that I'm wrong, I don't have to show it and I can move on and act like it's not the point.
Then Mike from PA also gets involved when this clip is tweeted with a caption. Mike talks about how you're supposed to engage with Asmongold, Tectone, and people like them.
They have to be on the defense. You want to get back at Asmongold? Don't argue with him about Palestine. Call him a cockroach. Post the cockroach video. Post a video about him not taking a shower. Post a video of him catching his mom on fire with cigarettes. That's how you fight back. You don't fight back by making arguments about Palestine. You want to make arguments about Palestine? That's fine. But you want to argue with Asmongold? You need to bring up his disgusting house. The filth he lives in, the trash he's surrounded by, the rotten rat alarm clock. That's how you deal with these people. Tectone, you bring up his rapist father. You bring up all the sexual charges that are against him. You fight these people on the ground they live on. You don't try to engage with them in lofty arguments. They don't care. They don't fucking care. And so it's time to fight fire with fire.
Atuka replies, I'm taking the Simps advice, attaching this picture of Mike from PA. Yesy replies, didn't Mike threaten a streamer's life? One way to engage. Decoy says, we can't beat them with logic, so attack their character. Wick TV replies, Mike from PA just demonstrating why he's a terrible person and poison to any cause he claims to support. He's a cancer and needs to be excised from any group he is in. A different Mike replies, like how Mike from PA is a fat, disgusting, greasy lardball slob that nobody likes? Even Hasan's orbit doesn't like him. He got left at home for their weird ass items collab. Asmon then responds to Mike from PA in this tweet by Yeet with this clip.
Even the foundation of the thinking is stupid. Not only is it mean-spirited, rude, ad hominem, and another, again, blatant violation of Twitch terms of service, he's instructing his viewers and people like this to harass me and personally insult me, bringing up my dead mother. Like, I mean, if this isn't against the harassment terms of service, I don't know what is. But I'm sure nothing's going to happen to him, just like nothing ever happens to these people, because Twitch moderation agrees with them. And that's a good reason why we're multi-streaming now, right? Because I think that they're going to burn this website to the ground if they don't do something about this. It's insane. It's so awful. Doesn't Twitch TOS have a rule against harassment for partnered streamers? Aren't you partnered? Yeah, no. They also have a rule against calling out and putting a hit out on somebody and saying that the only time that Ethan is going to stop fighting, like advocating for... This guy has advocated for violence on his stream. Like, this is probably, in my opinion, this guy is probably the worst offender I actually think that. Like, of the people that say crazy shit on the website, this guy is actually the worst offender. It's not Hasan, it's him. And I don't even think anybody's even close.
After all of this, Hasan then continues to call out Asmongold, such as in this clip when he says that Asmongold brings hate to Twitch, creating a dangerous environment for trans people, every different kind of background, promoting the Trump admin, and bringing it here to a private Twitch space.
You know, what pain has Asmon caused, though, to be honest? What do you mean? He's the largest political content creator, and he has created a dangerous environment for trans people, for people of every different kind of background. He actively is promoting the Trump administration and bringing it here to a private space like Twitch and normalizing that kind of discourse, normalizing that kind of sentiment in the same exact ways that I have normalized, I guess, progressive values. Except my normalization of progressive values does not actually end up causing harm to others. You know what I mean? Unless you are a fucking fascist. In which case, yeah, okay, that's fine. Asmon recently attacked the trans streamer over a 7-second clip, causing other people to pile on. Yeah, I mean, I'm a fairly large content creator, so it doesn't really bother me as much. Fascists love you. Get the fuck out of here. Point to one singular fascist who has ever said anything positive about me. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Tectone replies to the clip by saying, I would usually come to these posts to make a joke, but holy fuck, this guy's retarded. And Gosu Prime replies, I don't know guys, but I think the guy praising actual terrorist groups like Hamas is more dangerous than the guy playing video games and talking about US political issues. Maybe just a bit. Toby Turner replies to the clip by saying, what a genius this guy. Nuxtaku replies to the clip by saying, didn't this guy tell his audience to kill a United States senator? Giannis replies, I can't even tell if this has been edited or if his head really is that small. Asmongold himself then caught wind of this Yeet tweet and also responded to it, with the caption, Asmon reacts to Hasan, saying he normalized hate on Twitch.
Bringing it here to a private space like
a private space? What do you mean by a private space? You mean your private space that you thought you had a monopoly on the conversations around, and then somebody else comes on and they're saying things that you disagree with, and now it's dangerous. Right. Yes, it's your private safe space, and people are now disagreeing with you, and you're not happy about that. Yes, I'm sure this must be very upsetting. Oh, no.
Twitch. And normalizing that kind of discourse.
I had to normalize the discourse that won the election with a popular vote?
Normalizing that kind of sentiment in the same exact ways that I have normalized, I guess, progressive values.
Okay. Be honest. Be honest. Progressive values, like what? Like, I mean, what progressive value has Hasan normalized on Twitch? Nothing. He hasn't normalized anything. It's so crazy. Like, what are you talking about? This self-aggrandizement is outrageous. But no, the thing is that people watch Hasan because they already agree with him. It's the same thing as me. Like, it's outrageous.
Except
my
normalization of progressive values.
Right. My normalization is about all of the good things, and his normalization is about all of the bad things. Right? Because this
does not actually end up causing harm to others.
Really? So the normal... I wonder, what about those Filipinos that got taken hostage by which one was it that time? Oh yeah, the Houthis, supporting them. What about the people in Yemen that hate the Houthis because they're an oppressive paramilitary organization that is terrorists, and they're not even supported by the majority of the people there? So what are you talking about?
NMP Lol tweets out, here are my friends Hasan and Asmongold. I'm curious, if you had to vote for either of them as president, who'd you vote for and why? All circumstances permitting, of course. Sputter replies, Asmon, he's not a sociopath. Kiana says, hard choice between a guy wanting free healthcare and affordable housing versus a guy living with rotting animal corpses who can't stomach drinking the most basic human necessity, water. Tony Martin replies, Hasan literally hates America. Pasta Kakin says, Hasan, I don't agree with all things he says, but at least he has empathy. Asmongold himself then replies to the thread by saying, vote for me if you hate minorities and women. And Fraser Payne replies, gamer vote secured. 57 Harrier Strike says, Hasan actually fuming crying reading reading this. Reboticon replies, I can't wait to see this screen capped on Reddit later and 2,000 comments shrieking about it. Shout out to our tier 3 members, internet representatives Kiko and Salsoud. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you all in the next episode.